I'm going to preview the 1 seed USC versus 5 seed Kansas State women's basketball game on March 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. And I know the news of Juju Watkins, that she's torn her ACL and going to get surgery, and I wish her a good recovery. And I know it's going to take some time, but this is a blow for USC, not just for this year and possibly even going to next year. Because ACLs are no joke, and the last thing you want to do is rush too quick. So USC on the year is 30-3 overall, 17-1 in the Big Ten. Apologize for looking down because I can't memorize all this stuff. While Kansas State is 8-7 on the year, 13-5 in the Big 12. So I do think there's a possibility that Kansas State could beat USC now, and Kansas State has not been to the Elite Eight in women's basketball since 1982. So this is big for the program, while USC is trying to go back to back Elite Eights after not making one since 1994. So, this is an important game right here for both these programs. So what are some players to keep on in USC? And I'm not going to even mention Juju Watkins in all this. I am not going to. It's not worth it. One, I know she's not going to play. And two, I would be wasting my time by mentioning her stats and everything when she's not going to play. And there's no spread on the game as of right now, by the way. They're probably just processing the injury on how much it's going to affect on the point spread, to be honest. And I know that this is technically a home game for USC because they're closer to Spokane than Kansas State is. But don't get me wrong, Kansas State fans will show up. They will. Especially for their seniors in all this. So what are some players to keep it on for USC? Besides Juju Watkins that won't be playing. That's obvious. So there's Kiki Arifin, which that's the only other double-digit score they have available now. With no Juju Watkins, a 6'3" forward, that's a senior. 18.6 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, 0.7 blocks per game, 0.9 steals per game, 2.5 turnovers per game, 2.5 fouls per game, 82% on free throws on 67 attempts, 30.8% on free throws on 13 attempts. There's Raya Marshall, number 13, a 6'4" center, that's a senior, 7.4 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, 1.6 blocks per game, 1.6 turnovers per game, 2.2 blocks per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1.6 fouls per game, 71.1% on free throws on 45 attempts, and 3 for 6 on free throws. There's Kendi Smith, number 11. 6'1" guard, that's a freshman, 9.2 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 1.8 turnovers per game, 2.2 steals per game, 2.7 blocks per game, 2.5 fouls per game, 68.2% on free throws on 44 attempts, 31.3% on threes on 115 attempts. And there's Talia Von Oelhoffen, which you recognize her. She was at Oregon State last year, and I know she is a senior, but they're not, for whatever reason, they're not showing her height on ESPN app, so I'm going to have to look that up. On a 5'11" guard. Yep, that is a senior. Okay, so I just want to double check. 10.8 points per game. Actually, 5.9 points per game. That's what she's averaging this year. The 10.8 is like her career, and I'm not mentioning her career. 2.6 rebounds per game, 3.4 assists per game, 1.3 steals per game, 2 turns per game, 2.1 fouls per game, 78.6% on free throws on 28 attempts, 28.7% on threes on 15 attempts. It'll be interesting who starts in Juju's place. I mean, it'll be interesting, that's for sure. And I'm going to go over like Avery Howell, number 23, a 6-foot guard that is a freshman, 7.1 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 0.7 steals per game, 1.5 fouls per game, 80.6% on threes. On free throws on 36 attempts, 39.3% on threes on 135 attempts. And there's Kaylee Heckel, number 9, a 5'9" 9-inch guard that's a freshman, 6.1 points per game, 2 assists per game, 1.5 turns per game, 0.8 fouls per game, 78.6% on free throws on 42 attempts, 28.8% on threes, but that's only on 52 attempts. So 1.4 steals per game, 1.5 turns per game. Just want to make sure to mention that. There's Malios Samuels, number 10, 5'6" guard that's a sophomore, 2.3 points per game. 1 steal per game, 0.8 turns per game, 1.4 fouls per game, 88.9% on free throws on 18 attempts, for 30.2% on threes on 43 attempts. And there's Clarence Akonwafo, number 34, a 6'6" center that's a senior, 1.3 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, 0.6 steals per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 1.4 fouls per game, 21.7% on free throws on 23 attempts. So really, I don't need to mention Aaliyah Gales, Ryan Forestier, but I'm just going to go ahead and mention Vivian Iwuchukwu. IWUCHUKWU. And I apologize for butchering that. 6'3" forward. It's a freshman. 2.4 points per game. 0.7 fouls per game. 56.5% on free throws on 23 attempts. Now I will go over the Kansas State players, and it's next player up mentality for USC here. Just being completely honest about that. Now I will go over Kansas State, and obviously the first player I'm going to automatically mention is their best player, in my humble opinion. And I know she's had injury issues, but she's clearly healthier now when compared to the first time she tried to come back from a foot fracture. And who am I talking about exactly? It's simple. Aoka Lee, a 6'6" center. Okay, I'm trying to. That's a senior. 15.6 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game, 0.7 steals per game, 2 foul blocks per game, 0.9 turnovers per game, 2 fouls per game, 67.2% on free throws on 67 attempts. And there's obviously Tamira Poindexter, number 2, 6 foot, 2-inch forward. That's a senior, 12.7 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1 block per game, 1.7 turns per game, 1.3 fouls per game, 71.7% on free throws on 46 attempts, 40.5% on threes on 222 attempts. So she can shoot the ball as a forward. And there's Serena Sundell, Number 4, 6'2" guard. That's a senior. 13.9 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists per game, 1.1 steals per game, 0.9 blocks per game, 3 turns per game, 1.2 fouls per game, 77.6% on free throws on 116 attempts, 32.4% on threes on 74 attempts. And there's Jalen Glenn. She's another senior, by the way. Number 3, 6'1" guard. 9.7 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, 3.1 assists per game, 1.7 steals per game, 1 turnover per game, 1.8 fouls per game, 76.2% on free throws on 21 attempts, 43.5% on threes on 161 attempts. There's Ayana Walker. Number 1, 5'11" guard. That's a sophomore. 8.1 points per game, 3.7 assists per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists per game, 1.8 turns per game, 1.7 steals per game, 0.7 blocks per game, 1.5 fouls per game, 68.8% on free throws on 72 attempts, 27.2% on free throws on 81 attempts. And I'm going to mention Kendi Taylor. I'm going to go ahead and mention that. Number 12, 6'2" forward. That's a senior. 7.3 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, 1.7 fouls per game, 79.5% on free throws on 83 attempts, and that's really it. Then there's Terrence Sides. Number 11, 5'7" guard. That's a sophomore. 9.5 points per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, 1.9 turnovers per game, 1 steal per game, 1.8 fouls per game, 84.6% on free throws on 13 attempts, 43.8% on threes on 192 attempts. So I'm going to just go ahead and mention more players in those 7 here, like a few more here for Kansas State. Then I'll go over keys to the game for both of these teams here. But that's usually their top 2 coming off the bench, though they do play Amani Lester, which she is her jersey number is number 32, 6'4" forward. That's a sophomore. 2.5 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 0.7 turns per game, 1.5 fouls per game, 50% on free throws on 28 attempts. And I'll go ahead and mention Giselle Sanchez just in case. Number 30. 6'4" forward. That's a junior. 4.3 points per game, 3.1 rebounds per game, 0.9 turns per game, 1 foul per game, 52.9% on free throws on 17 attempts, 25% on threes on 48 attempts. And the last player I'm going to really mention is Eliza Boppin, just in case she does play. Number 21. 6'3" forward. That's a junior. 3.9 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 0.7 turns per game, 1.1 fouls per game. 0 for 1 on threes, 69.2% on free throws on 26 attempts. Of course, both these teams across the board need to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively, not just from first half, second half, but during those quarters as well. And do this for your seniors, especially for Kansas State. Well, when you look at the amount of seniors, and I don't think they're going to be the same team next year. And I know they do have one player that's redshirting, at least one. That's a senior, but you get the whole point. Because it's going to be totally different for next year. And I know, same thing because for USC a little bit too. I know, but from Kansas State's standpoint, and Kansas State has no pressure going into this game. 0 pressure. I don't care what the spread is. USC is probably going to still be favored, I would think, but maybe not as much as it could have been with Juju Watkins playing. And remember, a year ago, with Juju Watkins, they barely survived in a Sweet 16 game. Now that without her, that makes things more interesting. Of course, you want to limit your foul trouble while getting the opposing team in foul trouble. Obviously, you got to out-hustle the other team. You got to make it. You got to adjust to officiating, and you got to be more mentally tougher team and make plays to win. On defense, you got obviously contain the shooters, contain the slashers, limit the offensive rebounds, points in the paint, fast break points. Of course, 3-point line, especially you don't want to let them live at the free throw line either. Of course, second chance points, you got to limit. You got to be good in late game situations for offensively and defensively too, if it comes down to it. Now, offensively, you got to take care of the ball. Of course, on defense, you want to force turnovers. Offensively, you got to take care of the ball. I mean, you don't want to give the other team any chances to score on you, unless it's just dead ball turnover. I mean, that's still, you don't want that. You got to make your free throws count in this type of game because it does make the difference sometimes on between who wins and loses a game. You got to get some points in the paint, fast break points, points on turnovers especially, and second chance points. And another thing across the board, need to try to take away the home crowd. I mean, take away the opposing fans from this game as much as possible while getting your crowd involved. And you got to keep your composure. You don't want like techs or flagrant fouls. So we're going to have to wait and see what this happens here. And I would have said Kansas State might not have had a shot with Juju Watkins playing for USC. But then again, with Juju Watkins last year, they barely went to the Elite Eight game. Now this year, they're without her. And they're probably going to be without her some of next year. It's more like, is it all of next year at this point? And ACLs are no joke to come back from. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And like I said, do this for your senior. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 or more. So my money at this course like video. Comment video really helps YouTube algorithms. More people see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch. And if you're watching and subscribe, hit subscribe button, free notification bell as well.